and established an enviable reputation by the time she did retire here in 1974. One of her college friends, Miss Elizabeth McLaughlin, taught with Miss Gregory. She had been employed before I got into the picture, and she and Miss Gregory had been great friends in college, I think, at William and Mary, and she came to teach. She was a very pleasant and attractive person. Unfortunately, she died during that year with leukemia, and this was all very sudden, and it was a very disturbing thing to us. She became ill, and I think within about 3 months she was gone. So Miss Gregory and I then shared the responsibility for whatever was done until new faculty could be employed for the next year. In the summer of 1947, the School of Library Training and Service was moved to new quarters on West Campus, which was the old Dale Mabry Air Base, for military training purposes. What a move! Dr. Shores was conveniently in New York City. Miss Gregory was on vacation in Chase City, Virginia. I didn't have enough sense to leave town. In retrospect, you know, I should have been that bright. A crew of janitors with several big trucks came in front of Dodd Hall, and we moved furniture, books, records, memorabilia, whatever was there, we moved it, all in one very rainy day. When we got to the main building assigned on West Campus, I realized, as I looked at the building, that the floor needed badly to be scrubbed before we moved into the large area for the material center at the back of the building. Now, this was old Dale Mabry Air Base, and that building had been a commissary. And so there were suggestions of all kinds of food, and some things we weren't sure what they were, on that floor. And I could not see moving our present little material center into that room. So it was now or never. Well, the janitors all resisted, and they implied that they didn't do scrubbing. I remember this distinctly. I took off my shoes and hose. I grabbed a bucket of soapy water and a mop, and I began the great demonstration. Now, actually, scrubbing wasn't my forte either, but, you know, it was now or never. Well, just as I got really good and messy, I looked up to see a nice-looking young man observing this whole fiasco. He came in, avoided as much of the soapy water as he could, and introduced himself and withdrew to a safer area. Mr. Robert G. Clapp had arrived in Tallahassee and at the library school. He joined the faculty, soon became assistant dean when I asked to be relieved of that responsibility, and he became a major force in the operation of the school until his retirement in 1972. Mr. Clapp asked me once why I wanted to be relieved of that job, and I told him that as soon as I understood Dr. Shores' concept of an assistant dean, I wanted out. His concept was somebody who would stay home and run the store, and he wanted to make the trips and make the speeches and write the articles and go out and do all the interesting things. And so I realized that I was really not cut out to be an assistant dean, and that he deserved somebody better. And I think he got a very fine person in Robert Clapp. I do remember when I first became assistant dean that Dr. Iman saw me on the campus one day, and he said to me, "Do you know what an assistant dean is?" And I said, "No." And he said, "It's a mouse trying to be a rat." Well, Florida State College for Women became Florida State University in 1947. The young men became a permanent addition to the campus. Dr. Shores arrived, new monies were appropriated for faculty and for materials, and we were off to the races. And it is amazing how fast we accumulated more faculty and more of everything that we needed and more students. There are many memories of that first year of the school. We fielded a football team on this campus, and Charlie is laughing because he remembers some of this. We also fielded a basketball team. And the gymnasium where all basketball games were played was directly across the street from the school on West Campus. Dr. Shores was named timekeeper for the basketball program, and this became very significant in our operation. He even had a special shirt that had timekeeper in large letters on the back, and he kept it hung up in his office so everybody could see it. We could be in the midst of fiery debate on a curriculum problem in a faculty meeting and find the meeting abruptly adjourned exactly 5 minutes before basketball practice was to start, any day. And Dr. Shores would have his shirt and be off like a flash. I was on the homecoming committee that first year when we had a contest to get a name for our team. You know, here we didn't have a stadium. We didn't have a name, any kind of tradition related to all this, but we had a lot of enthusiasm. And I think it's significant that so many of the faculty, in particular the whole library school faculty, bought seats in the stadium which didn't exist, and looking to the future, and we all supported all these new developments at our university. The name, I was on the homecoming committee that first year, and we had a contest to get a name for our team. The name Seminoles, with all its surrounding imagery,